Okay, I want to film a podcast style video. I have wanted to start a podcast for a long time, had the worries of, is it oversaturated? Should I make a podcast? Everyone's got a podcast. All of the same thoughts that are probably running through your head when someone says they want to start a podcast. However, I want to do it a bit different. I want to come and sit somewhere that I enjoy, somewhere nice, somewhere that is scenic, and talk about the things that matter to me, the questions I have, the beliefs, the perspectives that I keep. And for this one, I have asked for some questions from people on Instagram. So let's just get started. Let's go from here. So I was going to start, I told myself I'll start with an easy one, but I don't really feel like there is any easy ones here. They're all kind of deep. Although there is saying that. Right, I'll start with an easy-ish one. What's your favourite book? My favourite book is I May Be Wrong. It's about a monk who quits his job, his corporate job, his well-paid job, and moves away to be a monk. And I'm not going to tell you the whole thing, I'd love you to read it, but the crux of it is, the lesson I took away is that he goes away, he didn't know how to meditate, he really struggled for years and years and years, and then finally got it and became a very important monk in his community, but wondered to himself, why have I learnt to master my mind or become so at one with myself if all I'm going to do is sit in a room and sit in silence and have no challenges or face no struggle? So then he goes out into the world. It's a brilliant book. I think you should read it. Everyone should read that book. It's a random one I came across, but I liked the title and I went for it, and it's a very good book, so give it a go. Right, next one. How did you come to view life in such a positive way? I'm not naive enough to say that I am constantly positive. Obviously, on social media, I like to put out a positive message. However, I have definitely got more positive as time has gone on. I think this is not going to be a how to be positive. This is just how I got positive or became more positive. But I hit the lowest point I possibly could, really. And then I decided that I wanted to change my life around. I wanted to fight to be happy. And anything better than where I was at that point was a win. So if someone smiled at me, I held on to it and I've counted that as a positive. And then if someone would hold a door open for me, if an opportunity came forward, no matter how tiny it was, I held on to it with everything I had, because I knew that it could only get better from the bottom. When I reached rock bottom, it could only get better. So I saw everything past that as a positive. And I think that's how I've kept my mind as it is. There are a lot of bad things that happen in the world. And keeping perspective on that is another good way of staying positive in my life. But yeah, we also get one life. So we can either be negative, we can moan about it all the time, or we can live it and be happy with it and try and find as much joy and positivity as we can. That's the way I see it. Alright. I'm firing through these quite quick, but I'm very aware I don't want this to be a 2-3 hour long video, and I'm not going to do all of these, but let's just go for, there's a few that say, what are my dreams? What do I dream of in life? I know I talk about a lot about dreams. There's also, where is it? How do I picture my life in 5 years from now? From Kano. So yeah, where do I want to go? What are my hopes and dreams for life? The 5-year one's a bit more complicated to me, but firstly, my dreams. When I really think about it, my dream is to be one of those people that makes a positive change in the world. And I don't mean just the tiny bit of the world around me. I would like to keep sharing on social media, having a bigger reach and helping more people, I guess, see positively. I dream to help those that find themselves in that bad place I once was. in the mindset I was in when I was in a dark place. And I guess that comes from social media. I used to always say, I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be like big on socials. I just want to make a difference, and I don't need to have a flashy Instagram for that. But I guess that is the honest truth, is that I want to keep growing my Instagram to where I can make that a career for myself and make more of a difference. Because I say this to a few of my friends, but on my days off, I feel like I live my dream life. I make videos, I learn, I read, I travel to places and do different things and do the things I want to do. But Monday to Friday, or the days I'm at work, it kind of stunts that a little bit and brings me back to somewhere that I don't massively want to be. So yeah, my dreams are to help people help themselves with their mental health. I want to make people see life in a different perspective, in a better perspective, and realize that they have this beautiful miracle of a life and they deserve to be happy in that. So for where I see myself in 5 years' time, it's one of those. I always used to hate this question. When I left football, I didn't have any ambition, so I used to think, I don't care where I am in 5 years, I just care where I am next week. However, that ties in perfectly. I want to be making a difference in 5 years. I want to be full-time creating content. I want to be making videos that help people around the world, whether that is me talking to the camera like this, or it's interviewing people, or it's via a podcast. I have to add that right now, that a dream of mine is to have a podcast that has some of the amazing guests that I know and love and watch on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. So maybe where I see myself in 5 years is running a lot, talking to a lot of people, learning a lot of things, traveling. I want to travel, and being a full-time creator. Sounds stupid even saying that, but that's the dream. That's where I see myself in 5 years, when I close my eyes and dream of it. So yeah, I could have elaborated more there, but right now that's where my head's thinking. Bit of an easier one. What does the tattoo on my hand say there? So it says ephemeral, which means, long story short, it means temporary. And it's a reminder that things in life are temporary. The good times, the bad times, the struggle, the pain, whatever it is, will not last forever. It's also a reminder that life won't last forever, and that we have to use this time as we wish, as much as we can. I will tell you why I got it. I used to write "this won't last forever" on my hand during a race, and I also used to just tell myself that a lot. This won't last forever. The good times, the bad times, the anxiety, the stress, the struggle, it won't last forever, but also the good times. So when I'm having a good time, I try and be there and know that it won't last forever, and I need to take it all in. I think that's important. I think that's an important one to keep, and that's why I got it there, so I can always see it. And again, my hand is temporary, my body is temporary, I am temporary. A tattoo might be permanent on me for the time that I'm here, but I don't mind having that on my hand. I think it looks cool. I don't care if anyone else does. And yeah, it's going to disappear at some point in the world's life. Right. Let's go for, do you believe in God? If so, why or why not? So, this is not one I've massively thought about in the last few years, but I definitely had a point in my life where I searched for God. When I was in a low point, I guess I would pray to God. I didn't know what God that was. I've never been religious. I just prayed to something. But it's obviously a very complex conversation nowadays, religion and beliefs, but I believe in something. The way I see it is I believe in something, and I think we all have to believe in something, else we become lost, we become lawless, we just become not the best person. If we don't believe in something, we can't be the best version of ourselves, whether that's believing in us, believing in a better life, believing in good things happening, or believing in things working out. We need to believe in something. And I had this concept that as long as I believe in myself and I listen to that voice in my head and I make sure it's kind, then that may be God, that may be a spirit, that may be the universe. I don't know what it is. But I think I tip more towards the fact that if we focus on something, if we believe in it, we believe that it can help us, then it can. Whether that wants to be God for you, whether you want that to be God, whether you want that to be the universe, whether you want it to be science, if you believe in something, it can come true. So, there. I believe that everything works out. I believe that we have a path that we are supposed to lose ourselves on, find ourselves on, fail, try again, all of that. But I'm not massively religious, but I believe in something. But I don't want to be too controversial about that. What do you do when things get tough? When things get tough in life? I try my best to do the things that make me feel good. And I know that when we are struggling, when there's a bad time happening, or something bad happens to us, or someone we love, or we're just not being too nice to ourselves in our heads, it is extremely hard to do the things that feel good. So for example, when you go through a breakup and you stop doing all the activities you love, whether it's painting, drawing, running for me, we seem to go away from them because we feel like we don't want to get up and we don't want to do anything. But I've learnt to really hold on to those things and do my absolute best to make sure I am doing the things that I love, I am doing the things that fill my cup, and I'm being with the people in the places that fill my cup. So for me, that is running, if I'm honest. When I'm struggling, when I'm lost, when I'm doubting myself, I go and spend a long time running. And I guess that is a good way of saying that I just spend time outside, away from all distractions, away from the noise of life getting in the way. And I deal with it. I sit with it. I think about it. I talk to myself about it in my head. And soon I come to a realization of either a lesson, a perspective, or I just come to realize that I have the choice of letting the struggle ruin my day, my week, or my year, or I can notice it, realize it, and know that it's there, but do my best to enjoy what I can. But yeah, I guess the lesson is sit with it. Sitting with the struggle, the pain, whatever it is, acknowledging it's there, and then doing the best we can to help that in whatever way we need to. That's how I deal with struggle and stress and anxiety. I do my best to be who I am, do the things I love, be where I am, and feel it. Feel the struggle, let it be there, understand it, and then you can move forward from it. Because if we just push the struggle away forever, it's going to come back. It's always going to be there, and it's always going to be on our mind somewhere, or somewhere in our body. So yeah, I think sit with it, do what you love, and try and do as much as you can to help yourself. What made you keep carrying on when things weren't good? Instantly, I think about the worst time of my life, when I was lost after football. And this is a very good question. One that I don't massively know the answer to, but I'm just going to talk, and whatever comes out is how I dealt with it and how I kept going when things weren't good. I think my family and my friends and my loved ones were a huge part of this. Knowing that they were there, and knowing that I wanted to make them proud of my life and not just hide away forever, was maybe the first kick up the bum that I needed, maybe the first Kickstarter to try and get back into life and into happiness again. But I think I just knew that at the end of the day I was going to be living my life regardless. And either I could hold myself in them dark times and I could feel like that was the rest of my life, like I did at some points, or I could get up and I could mess around and lose all care and do the things that feel like I want to do them. I need to go back to the question, sorry. What made you keep carrying on? I'll go back to what I said earlier. But I think I hit rock bottom and I knew that things could only get better. I think I also told myself that I had nearly reached my dreams one time. So maybe I could pivot and change and reach them again. I've kind of always had the mindset that everyone we know, look up to and think are amazing have had tough times. They've had times where they didn't know what they wanted to do. They've had low points that nearly stopped them getting to where they got to. And I've kind of always just thought we're all human and we're all capable of incredible things. So I decided to stop caring. I decided to pick myself up off the bottom and see where I could get to. And I am by no means at the top right now. I know that. But I am much better off than I was before. And I'm going to do my best to keep going that way. But what kept me going was the hope of dreams coming true, the hope of people doing amazing things in this life, the hope of the people around me, my family and my loved ones, my mates, and the hope that life can get better, and that life was good once, so it could definitely be good again. This is the only running related one, but it was from Lewis, who I met. If you're watching, hello Lewis. We need to get out for a run again soon. I say again, we ran for about 20 metres together, but in Amsterdam Marathon, we just stood in the start pen, and we bumped into Lewis. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that music, by the way, but I'll just crack on. Yeah, we bumped into Lewis, me, Harry and Rowie. Like you do, just a little, all the best, mate. Like, enjoy it. What time you going for? All of that. But yeah, he's asked, sorry, lost track of the question there. Why Amsterdam Marathon, which is where we met, and would you run it back? So, Amsterdam was a bit of a bigger race than the ones we had done before. I guess we did Barca just before that, but basically we wanted to take a run club away, and it was not a major, but it was a big one with a lot of participants. It was a fast one, and a flat one that felt right to get everyone to do their first half or their first marathon abroad. So yeah, it was more collectively the fact that we could take a lot of people there. It's a good city to celebrate in afterwards, and yeah, the lads had been there before. I hadn't been before, but they said it was such a good place. So yeah, we just thought Amsterdam, and we had a bloody good time. Didn't race my best race, probably my worst race, I'd actually say. I think it was my worst race. However, it was class. I really bought into enjoying that one. I hadn't enjoyed a race before that, really. So I mean, even the whole weekend, normally we go away and just focus on the race. That one was a chance to enjoy it with my people and do some things we wouldn't normally do and have a laugh. So that's what we did. But yeah, cheers Lewis, hope you're watching this, bro. This next one's fun. I never talk about this on any of my social media. I only really talk to my brothers, my best mates, about this. But the question is, are you single? And if so, how do you deal with being single? I am single, yes. I haven't been in a relationship for a while now. Well, it's not been that long, to be fair. But let's talk about how I'm okay with being single. I think I give myself the love that I am trying to give other people when I'm not in a relationship. I really try and focus and give myself the capacity to love myself, take myself on a solo date, take myself where I want to do whatever I want to do, and just be my own best friend and my own biggest supporter when I'm single. And it's something I struggle with in a relationship because I lose that. I'm not so honest with what I want to do because I want to please the other person, or I lose myself trying to make them think that I'm amazing, basically. So when I'm single, I don't worry about that. I just do what I want to do. I find the love in myself. I enjoy time by myself, and I get used to my own company. I think the most important thing for any of us, single or not, is loving ourselves and loving who we are. And yeah, I guess whilst I'm on the journey to that, whilst I'm becoming who I want to become, I'm single and I'm happy with that. But that doesn't mean I'm against relationships. All of my good mates, my closest mates, have girlfriends. I'm surrounded by lovely couples. My mum and dad are the best couple I know. They've been together for years. They're amazing. They laugh every day together. And they show us the love that we should expect. And my sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, have a lovely marriage. They've just moved out together into their new home, and they have a beautiful daughter, my niece. So love is all around me. I don't hate love. I actually love love. I watch a lot of romance films, but I just find myself by myself right now. I think I've got a lot of things I want to achieve and become and learn before I love someone else. A good friend of mine, Harrison King, has told me that I don't need to do that. Yeah, we're going to get there, man. We're going to get there. I'm going to get to this self-love journey, and then at some point, if someone comes into my life, it is what it is. But right now, to enjoy being single, I do what I want to do, travel to the place I want to travel to, give energy to the things I want to give them to, and I love myself. I love myself like I would someone in a relationship. It sounds stupid, but that's how it is. Where do you go for fresh inspiration? I don't know what sort of inspiration this is, I guess for life or for content, but a lot of my inspiration comes from the people around me, the perspective they have, the lessons they teach me about, the friendships we have, and relationships with my family and stuff like that. They all inspire me massively, but I honestly feel like my most inspiration mentally and like that keeps me going is when I spend time alone, away from my phone, in the open, whether that's getting in a sea swim or going for a run or a walk, whatever it is. I find inspiration in that when I sit and I listen to my mind, and that's when it kind of comes to me, inspiration for content, for life, for thoughts and lessons. Because we're all so rushed doing stuff that we miss a lot of inspiration and perspective. I must add, I find a lot of inspiration from books and podcasts and just quotes I see online, to be honest. I write a lot, and that's where I sort of iron out all the stuff I'm thinking and seeing in a day. And then I find inspiration there on the pages that are left behind. Right, I'm going to wrap it up with one more, and I don't know what it's going to be. What's one lesson your hardest obstacle taught you about yourself? There's a lot of lessons. I'm not going to be able to put them into one, but my biggest obstacle or toughness or struggle or whatever you want to call it was having a dream that I worked my whole life for, and then getting pretty much to where I wanted to be, signing a contract at my dream football club, and realising that this was not where I wanted to be. And I wasn't who I wanted to be, and I was doing this because I felt like I had to, because it was every boy's dream to be where I was, and I felt guilty for that. And yeah, I had a huge crisis and hit rock bottom because I felt like I'd wasted my whole life. And I guess the lesson I took from that is that every single thing that happens in our life is teaching us something to take into the next battle, into the next success, into the next thing that comes in our life, the next opportunity. And it relates to the quote that I talk about and that I love, that says there's more than one route to the top of the mountain. And I think if you try and climb Mount Everest tomorrow, you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't know how to do it. You wouldn't even know where to start with the gear you needed or what you needed to take with you. However, if you wanted to climb a hill, you would do that. You would learn, you would go up it, And might be tough to start with, but you'll learn that you can't go too fast or too slow. You learn that it might be a bit technical on the trail and you might trip up, but the more mountains you climb, the more times you try to reach the top, the more you're going to learn. And I know that's a crazy bit of waffle to explain that the journey of life is teaching us something all the time. Literally everything that happens to us, for us, around us, is going to teach us something. We can take a lesson from everything that happens to us. Life is the guru. And that's what I took away from it. I hadn't wasted all but 20 years of my life. From the day I could walk, I played football, to the day that I fell out of love with it and stopped. It felt like a waste at the time, and I was frustrated and annoyed at myself. However, it taught me so many things. It taught me independence, it taught me strength, it taught me discipline, it taught me hard work, togetherness. It taught me a lot of stuff going on up in my head that now I talk about online, and people say they resonate, people say it helps, and people support it. And I would not be here without that. So my biggest lesson from that is that there's no failures, there's no wasted time, there's no wasted opportunities. Everything is teaching us something. Everything we go through is taking us exactly where we need to be. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end. And I've rushed through them, and I would love to have this all planned out and be a bit better, but I would spend my whole life doing that. I would be talking and waffling, and I would be planning and figuring stuff out forever. So I just went for it, and I enjoy talking to the camera, I enjoy getting this out of my mind, and I enjoy answering questions from people that don't know me or do know me. It's interesting to me, and it's interesting to find out. This is what I do in the morning. I journal, and this is just the random questions that come into my head. I talk about and answer. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I might actually post this as a podcast on Spotify, and I'd love it if you're still here after 20-30 minutes, whatever that was, to help me with a name. Right now I have got Who We Needed, the Who We Needed podcast with Harrison Davis, because we become the person that we needed when we were younger. We learn the lessons we needed when we were younger. And when people ask questions, or when I talk about the lessons I've learned, they're all the things I needed when I was younger. So that's what I've got right now. If someone comes up with an amazing one, please put it in the comments. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I've got a lot of love for you, and I really appreciate you. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I know my content can be quite heavy sometimes, so I know the people that watch might have had their fair share of struggle in their lives and in their heads. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. You're appreciated by me and all the people in your life. You're loved, and you're going to do amazing things. Yeah, I love you, man. See you later. Cheers.